For the life of me, I don't know why Amazon Prime Video thought they can take Cruel Intentions, the great Cruel Intentions from 1999, and make a series out of it in 2024. Now I get it. It was 25 years ago, which is insane. So I get it. It's 25 years ago. And most young folks might not have seen it. They kind of go back maybe 10 years and that's it. So yes, it's an old film. So I get the idea of it. But what can you do that's shocking in 2024 that was shocking in 2020 in 1999? Like that kiss between Selma Blair and Sarah Michelle Gellar with the spit was a cinema cultural movement. And it's also a movement just because you didn't see two women kiss that often in films back in the day like that. Like before that was probably Jennifer Tilly and Jenna Gershon in Bound. Good movie, check it out. Love Bound. That was shocking. The whole premise of the bet between Ryan Phillippe's Sebastian and Sarah Michelle Gellar's Catherine, where if she wins, he gets his Jaguar. But if he wins, he gets her, he gets something from her. Was shocking. It's like, wait a minute. Your stepbrother and stepsister. You can't do that. That's nasty. Tell me more. That was shocking for back then. I don't know. It's almost impossible of taking a great movie. It's hard to take a great movie and turn it into a great series. It's easier to take a bad movie and turn it into a great series. Plus, but here's the thing. There was a strong buzz going into that film. First of all, the first buzz is that was a reboot of Dangerous Liaisons, starring John Malkovich and Glenn Close, Michelle Pfeiffer, a young Uma Thurman, and a young Keanu Reeves. It was a period movie, a much beloved period movie, which is the same premise. Close and Malkovich played siblings, step-siblings, I presume, and they made a bet. And it was a very seductive film. And John Malkovich was having the time of his life. I would love to ask John Malkovich, like, of his favorite movies, is Dangerous Liaisons in his top 5? It has to be. It's like, listen, let me get this straight. I'm getting paid. First, I get to flirt with Glenn Close as my stepsister or my sister. Okay. But I get to seduce Michelle Pfeiffer and Uma Thurman. Sign me up. That's the role of a lifetime. Oh my God. And I would see comments, people say, oh my God. I see people like, oh my God, John Malkovich's so sexy in that film. But this messed up thing is, if there's a young actor and a young actress who look just like John Cusack and John Malkovich and Glenn Close, and you put they audition for this Amazon series of Cruel Intentions, they probably wouldn't even be cast. If they are cast, they'll be in secondary roles or bit roles because it's, well, John and Glenn, I mean, they're nice, but they're not good looking enough. Like we want real pretty people. And that's the problem with a lot of these movies with young folks today. And there's a pockets of young actors who are really, really talented, really, really good. But it's not like the collective between like Scream and Mean Girls, not era. The collective of young actors today, they look great, but they don't have much acting depth. So how many young John Malkoviches and young Glenn Closes are just auditioning in Hollywood in 2024 and they can't get a leading role because they're not quote unquote beautiful enough. Like you look at Madison Beer is a beautiful young lady. But nowadays, if you look like Madison Beer and has some acting talent, you're going to get casted. If you don't, but if you look the opposite of that, if you look like Selma Blair, no offense to Selma Blair, who was in Cruel Intentions, if you look like Selma Blair in 2024, you probably wouldn't even be cast in the series because you're not hot enough. You don't have enough, you don't have enough likes and shares on your IG it's terrible. It's terrible. But no offense to these young folks, they're doing what they can, but the acting talent isn't there. It's just not there. Like that time period between Scream and Mean Girls. Look at all the talent that came through that time period. I just saw I forgot about on HBO. I think that came out in 2001 or something like that. Was with Mekhi Pfeiffer, Julia Stiles, and Josh Hartnett. I forgot how great they were in that film. But that was the thing about those young actors back then. You didn't have to look great. You had to have that acting talent. This is the era of the 90s, like Sundance, independent directors, box office hits of the late 80s, early 90s. These young folks like Sarah Michelle Gellar, Ryan Phillippe, Reese Witherspoon, they saw these actors in the 90s being great. They saw like Fatal Attraction. They saw young Denzel, young Julia Roberts. They Tom Cruise. They saw if you wanted to be great, you had not only have to be look good on screen, you have to be at least a really good actor. Like it's just so different now. So the buzz off Crew Intention. So there's a lot of buzz going to that film. So you got the Dangerous Liaison factor. You got the Sarah Michelle Gellar factor. So Sarah Michelle Gellar was doing Buffy the Vampire Slayer at that point. So you got that crowd coming in. Her and Ryan just came off I Know What You Did Last Summer, the great horror film from Jennifer Love Hewitt. So you got that. And also, when I saw the trailer, I saw Sarah Michelle Gellar with dark hair. So most people who are Sarah Michelle Gellar fans just know her from Buffy on up. I knew Sarah when she was on All My Children, her first role, major role, where she played Kendall Hart, Erica Kane's long-lost daughter, who was cute, but mean and seductive and hateful and spiteful and hated her mama, Erica Kane, because she felt like Erica Kane abandoned her. Oh, Sarah was so good in that. Oh, her and Lucci was so good as mother and daughter. And I really thought that Sarah Michelle Gellar's, I really thought she was going to replace Lucci after a while as like one of the premier soap actresses on TV. But after 2 years, she left. And she left to do Buffy the Vampire Slayer. I was like, why would she do that? She's great on All My Children. Buffy the Vampire Slayer, the film was a flop. What can they possibly do as a TV show? Man, Buffy the Vampire Slayer isn't just only one of my favorite shows of all time. It's one of the best shows ever. That was a great pivot move by Sarah, because Sarah went from playing this hateful, spiteful character to being this heroic, fun character, Buffy. It was a great turn. It was a great turn. And when I'm looking at this movie, Cruel Intentions, I think the person that gets underrated in this is Ryan Phillippe. Ryan Phillippe basically had to play 3 roles in this film. First of all, him and Sarah are step siblings. And they had this flirtatious thing, and they touch each other. So how can you make this where it's flirty, but at the same time, they're kind of related? So it's kind of creepy, but you keep watching because it's hot. So there's a balance of how can I be seductive at the same time they are siblings by not making it icky, but he pulled that off. Then he has this thing where he has to do Summer Blair. And Summer Blair was fun because Summer Blair was this chick who tried to be sexy around him, and he was repulsed by her. So he has to seduce her, where before he knew he likes flirting with Sarah's character, Catherine, but he doesn't like flirting or being sexual with Summer Blair at all. Like, it makes him sick, but he has to pretend to be a seductive dude in that. So he's playing that. And then he seduces Reese Witherspoon, but he actually cares about her. He actually loves her. Of all the women on here, he actually cares the most about Reese. So there's a tender side to Ryan Phillippe. He had the most difficult role of all of them because he had to play 3 different versions of himself that was all similar but all different. But Ryan Phillippe has always been like an underrated actor. I don't see him much anymore, but he was fantastic in this movie. And Selma Blair too, man. She was good in it. It's a solid cast. And then you got the music part of it. You got Fatboy Slim Praise You, that was in it. Because you had this whole late 90s dance movement that was happening. You got the Verve Switter Beats Symphony? No, Switter. Damn it, I forgot the song. You got the Verve track, Bittersweet Symphony. Yeah, Bittersweet Symphony. You got the Verve track that was with one of the greatest samples of all time. Greatest samples of all time. One of the greatest 90s songs of all time. That was part of it. So you got the music buzz coming into this situation. There were so many things that was coming into. So you got the Dangerous Liaison thing. You got the Buffy thing. You got I Know What You Did Last Summer. You got the music part of it. Reese is coming off Pleasantville with Tobey Maguire, so that's coming into it. There was so much buzz into this, and it was a great movie. There's no way this 2024 version was going to be better than 1999's Cruel Intentions. So what do you guys think? If you're a fan of Cruel Intentions, either past or present, tell me what you like about the film. And if you saw the recent Cruel Intentions TV show, if you like it or not, tell me what you liked about it. Tell me what you don't like about it. Some say it should be a second season. If you've seen it, do you think it deserves a second season? Or should we just relish of the brilliance of the 1999 original, released 25 years ago? Oh, time goes by so fast.